Welcome to Dream Small, where we believe God does big things through the small and everyday faithfulness of His people. I'm Jason.
And I'm Whitney. We're a family of 8 who's fostered, adopted, and stumbled our way through learning that small, everyday choices can change lives.
In a world that tells you to chase big, we dare you to dream small.
Because you know what? It's not about chasing fame. It's about choosing faithfulness.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So we're doing something new this morning. We're recording at, I'm looking at my computer at 4:59 a.m.
Yes, we are. I mean, this might be when it works, right? At least today.
Today. We just got done with an awesome night away thanks to a good friend of ours who voluntarily, not against her will, not with any sort of...
She said it'll be fun.
It'll be fun. Volunteered to stay with our herd for 24 hours where Whitney and I could get away. We stayed in a lovely hotel in Speedway, Indiana, and you know what we did.
We slept, you guys.
We slept a lot.
It was glorious. I think I clocked 14 hours straight in bed.
We got some dinner, and then we got some sleep.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, we were in bed for 14 hours, maybe more. I don't know, but it was so nice. I mean,
it was like I hit Control-Alt-Delete on my body, and I hit a factory reset.
Yeah, Jason needed it a lot.
It was incredible.
He was a little grumpy last week. So, I mean, and like I told him, everyone's allowed to have bad days. But, oh my word, just 14 hours of not bickering, not mommy, not needing to do anything for anyone.
So-and-so hit me.
Oh my word. When we first got there, I laid down on the bed and I just literally, I said, Jason, I don't care if you watch football, just put it on mute. I laid in silence, like complete sensory deprivation.
We checked in. I said, hey, going up to the room, I'll go get our bags. We didn't have a lot of bags, right? We were staying one night. By the time I made it up to the bedroom, she was almost asleep on the bed. It was like 10 minutes. It was
like
6
2
minutes. Yeah, it was quick.
I just needed complete sensory deprivation. Like when I say our home is overstimulating, I'm not kidding.
It was hilarious when we came back and our friend who watched our kids kind of looked at us like wide-eyed and just like, holy crap, that just happened. She's like, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, it was sweet. I felt very affirmed because she was like, I don't think anyone would ever actually get it unless they were here and they do what I just did. And I was like, no, you're right. Like, and we have great children. It's not that. It's the dynamics between all of them. It's the fact that we have 3.5 children in diapers. It's the fact that, everyone wants you to do something for them and play with them and do certain things. And it's like, once you're done caring for one child, you're moving on to the next. I mean, there's not a lot of time to...
And you have a big 8th child that you're looking at right now.
Yeah, and we have Maggie, the dog.
Maggie, the dog.
But, I mean, the thing is, as much as I truly try to prep ahead for the day, for the morning, have everything made, lunch is made, juice is made, knowing that kids are going to want to come up and drink right away, bottles made, diapers filled. There's just, there's always things that end up needing happened, or someone spills an entire drink on the kitchen floor, or the dog eats the breakfast, right?
Or a rag, the kitchen rag.
Or the dog pukes up another kitchen rag.
It's real. It's probably
real, guys.
4 or 5 at this point because our kids, I am of the belief our kids are secretly trying to kill our dog. Because they keep leaving stuff sitting around that she chews on and eats, and luckily so far she's puked everyone out, but anybody with dogs get it.
I think Jason leaves the rags out.
No, I don't. No way. I would never.
But yeah, so it was very validating to hear our friend understand just the constant need. And there are definitely also dynamics between certain kids. I mean, there's so many different ages and stages in our lives right now with the children. And there's definitely certain dynamics.
You know what was the most exciting part for me? What she said? She'll be willing to do it again. Which I wasn't sure she would be willing to do.
I know. They were all alive and
yeah,
she was okay with the very, very, very little amount of sleep. She was like, I only had to do it for one night. Like, I can probably do it for 2. It's like,
okay. How soon can we book you on that?
But it's just great that, she jumped into quite literally the chaos, brought in her son as well. So there was 8 kids here on her own, and she had help.
I think
the big kids.
Her son coming helped kind of mitigate it a little bit, because he's a hyper kid, but for whatever reason with our kids, he helps like mellow everybody out. It's awesome. Anyway, on to our episode.
Yeah, it's actually not about that. How about that?
It is. This one's a little heavier than we've done. If you follow us on social media, you would have seen us post about it last weekend, and we shared about a sermon from our church we attend, and Whitney and I attended 2 different services. She went on Saturday night, I went on Sunday morning, and it resonated with both of us in major ways, and we wanted to talk with you guys about it. Yeah,
it's definitely a heavier one, and I feel like Jason, now that I'm sitting here and we're recording, I feel like I remember Jason saying like, hey, we need to like do some light ones. So we'll get there too. But this is definitely not one of those.
This is not the light ones.
This one's really personal and really vulnerable. The sermon on faithfulness really hit hard and hit deep, which is a good thing. That's conviction. But we shared the sermon last week instead of a podcast episode. This is actually our 25th episode. But if you go back to, what would that date been? November.
I posted it on Thursday. It would have been November the 4th. I don't know. No. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Yeah, because it was Lainey's birthday.
Okay. Would have been posted on November 6th. So if you want to hear.
And it's titled bonus episode.
Yeah. So definitely recommend going and listening to that. Over the past few months, we've been walking through a really hard season with one of our foster children. And, truthfully, there have been weeks, when we've questioned if she should stay with us long term. Because the longer a child's in placement, you start thinking like, if we are asked to adopt this child, will we say yes, right? And I think we've always assumed our answer for this specific child would be yes. A lot of things have caused us to question that. Like, is this a right forever yes? Like for our entire family? Because we have children that we've promised forever to. So is this the right fit for this child and for our family forever? So there's definitely been moments when we've questioned that. And it's not because we don't love her. It's because it's been so challenging. And sometimes we feel like we're just not making progress. And you guys, as I've shared before, trauma is hard, and healing is not linear.
No, it is not linear. I think we're going through a season where, it's really hard to stay consistent, even when you really want to. Working out, eating right.
Right.
And I mean, how much more so with a kid with so much trauma that you love? Faithfulness many times can feel like it costs more than what we're capable of doing, right? Like with this particular kiddo, we love her dearly. But it's almost like we've had conversations with people. Are we actually what's best for her? Does she need more than what we're capable of giving? Like we have a house full of kids. Does she need somebody, despite our love for her, does she need a family that has more capacity to simply focus on her?
Yeah, which, I mean, I think is a really real and a really fair question and evaluation and honest consideration for us. And I can only imagine we're not the first or only foster family to have these thoughts and questions with, an impending what if, right? But it's hard because we don't know the right answer, right? And then we know that Satan tries to creep in and have us questioning things that we think about. So having discernment is really tricky sometimes when it comes to really big matters like this. Like this is a big decision, right? So that word that Jason talked about, faithfulness, it has been showing up everywhere lately, which makes you stop and think, right? Like, it's like when I was running and saw the signs for foster care and we need foster parents. And I was like, oh, okay, God, I see you. Same thing happening with this word faithfulness in our Bible readings at church last week, even in conversations with friends. And it reminds me of Galatians 5:22 and 23, where Paul says, but the Holy Spirit produces this kind of fruit in our lives. The fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Yeah, those are the fruits of the Spirit. Our church has been going through them. It's been a tremendous series. And faith, some of us, like Whitney and I have joked, like some of the fruits we are good at, some of them we're not good at. The Spirit has cultivated in our lives more obviously than other fruits, like gentleness. I don't know if that's something we would describe me as being, right? Like, peace, that's something that the Spirit has worked in my life extremely well. But faithfulness really resonated with Whitney and I in the season we're going through and what that means and all that. So that's what we're getting into today.
But you know what's interesting, Jason? I would say one of the strongest fruits of the Spirit in your life is faith. So it's just interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we've always talked about that. Like, your faith is extremely strong.
Correct.
So, yeah, it's just interesting. But this feels like a whole different ball game, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, this last week's sermon really hit, and we were like, okay, this is what we should be talking about right now.
In this episode, we felt compelled to share our struggle with hopefully some other foster families or other families in general, whatever struggle, challenge it is, to encourage you to be faithful. And we're going to walk you through what it means for us right now. But that's why we're doing this episode, is because in foster care, it can get really challenging, really, I don't want to say dark. Maybe dark's the right word.
It can feel really dark.
Feel isolated. It feels like, what am I even doing? Is it even worth it?
Right.
And this episode is to hopefully encourage you to ignore all those things and remain faithful to your mission as a foster parent.
And I will say one side note here. There are times when a placement in foster care is just not a good fit for your family. We are not saying never wave the white flag, never disrupt placement, always stay the course. It takes a level of discernment. It takes prayer. It takes knowing what is truly best for that child, what is truly best for your family. But just so you know, that is not what our intention is. We're not saying
deal with it, stick it out. That is no. I mean,
because we see those, right? I mean, and we're here, like, we're just like, what do we do? But
yeah, we have disrupted placements before, yes. And we need to do an episode or two on those.
Yeah,
to be transparent. So getting into the meat of this. Just to paint the picture of where you guys have been. So we're getting to the point with this kiddo that we are referencing. We'll call her Kiddo for reference for the rest of the episode. Kiddo.
I almost spit my coffee out.
That would have been not good. Yeah, you can probably tell by our voices it's early in the morning. I'm willing to bet.
Huh.
Kiddo. This kiddo. We're getting to the point where we have to make a decision whether or not
Let's call her Chloe.
No, because I'm going to want to cuss. If you guys have seen 24,
Kiddo Chloe.
Like, Chloe is a character that Jack Bauer always cusses at because she has a personality.
Darn it, Chloe.
Yeah, no, we cannot call her Chloe.
Okay. We'll go back to Kiddo. Sorry.
Yeah, Kiddo.
I digress.
Kiddo. We're at the point now where we have to decide whether she's going to stay with us because we're pre-adoptive for her, or if they're going to have to find a permanent pre-adoptive home for her, because her plan is in the midst of changing, essentially, from reunification to adoption.
Well, technically, currently, it's a concurrent plan.
Yeah, would you explain? Yes, yeah. I know that. Go ahead and explain what that means.
And this is not something I believe that's everywhere, but in the county we live.
State? Is it county or is it state?
It's allowed in the state. It's pretty heavy in this specific county.
Okay.
Well, the county that she's placed through.
Sure.
In the county that we're dealing with this specific kiddo, the state law is that once a child has been in foster care for a year, the parent has not made significant effort, the plan needs to change from reunification to a concurrent plan of reunification and adoption.
For those of you who are simple-minded like me, I'll explain it in my words.
I'm going to explain the railroad tracks.
Let me explain. Oh, that is a great analogy.
I know,
Go
right?
Ooh,
Parallel lines.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, you do it.
It means there's two plans at the same time. One's
railroads.
Yeah, that's a great visual. Like two, parallel railroad lines at the same time.
Thank you.
One plan that DCS works towards is reunification, and the other one is towards adoption.
Yeah. So that's technically where we're at right now. I mean, it's not a plan for specifically adoption, but that's a very real possibility since that plan has changed to a concurrent plan.
And unless certain situations around her life change dramatically, her plan will be changing to adoption.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been struggling with. And it
makes it very real. Like, we're going to be asked a really big question, right? Like, are we going to promise forever?
This is the same kiddo we told you guys about that came back to us, that we prayed for, that came back to us right before Whitney left for her cancer treatment. So this kiddo is near, dear, deep in our hearts. This isn't a rando kid that just showed up and we're like, this is a little girl that we have fought for,
like our child.
that we have loved deeply and fought for. So the faithfulness, we are having some hard seasons, and it has caused us to question, essentially, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
And thankfully, God has provided and surrounded us with other believers who believe in God's sovereignty that can speak into this specific situation and our lives, which has been extremely helpful in challenging times to have that extra support. Because here's the thing, you guys, faithfulness, it's not glamorous. It's definitely not about perfect results. I think faithfulness is simply showing up again.
And again.
And again.
And again.
And again. And guys, that is not easy.
And I think that's what's hard about faithfulness,
Right.
is there's not a lot of fruit. There's not always
Here's the thing.
a big reward at the end of faithfulness.
Faithfulness is trusting things we cannot see. And that's the thing. I want to know 10, 15, 20 years down the road, everything's going to be okay. The kids we've already promised forever to, this child, the rest of our children, our marriage, like our home is going to be still joyful and loving. But that's never a guarantee. Like, we have to use those fruits of the Spirit that God has cultivated in us, and we have to keep cultivating them, but to create that, but that's not a promise, right?
No.
It's choosing to show up again and again.
And that's what we're called to do. So so for my fellow foster parents or any other person listening to this going through a challenging time, just remember, faithfulness is not glamorous. Like Whitney said earlier, it's not. It's showing up again and again and again. I just wanted to emphasize, when you repeat things,
I thought maybe you were going to delete what I said. I was
no,
like,
no.
It's like I literally just said all that.
I started to repeat what she said for emphasis. She looked at me like I was crazy. Gosh. All right.
I thought I didn't do it good enough.
And moving on with faithfulness, here is a Bible verse that I think helps me when things are really hard. It's from Lamentations 3:22 and 23. God, mercies are new every morning.
Every morning.
Every morning.
Thank you, Jesus. I mean, we're sitting here at 5 a.m.
But we're about as refreshed as we are going to be. Let's be honest.
And the baby slept last night, you guys. It's a new day.
Yeah.
But all of the chaos, okay, parents, there is always, you pay the price for going away, right? You know you're going to get back, and there's going to be meltdowns and needs and chaos. Okay. So yes, we're just getting back from a night away, but we also just dealt with a whole afternoon and evening of, So all that to say It's a new day. Every day we get to go to sleep and wake up, and it's a new day.
So I assume most of the people who listen to us are Christians. What do you think? If you're not, this is going to be a biblical heavy one. Sorry,
And if
it's
you're
still
not,
good.
let's talk.
Yeah, if you're not, we can talk. If
Because
not,
Jesus loves you.
when things get really challenging and faithfulness feels hard, I just look how faithful God's been to us, and how foolish we can be, and just all the things.
No
He's done
kidding.
for us. And that helps me refocus and recenter and kind of not lose hope with this kiddo we've been talking about. But man, this is new mercies every morning. That's
Yeah, think about that.
Every
sit
single
in
morning.
that, yeah. And the fact of how faithful God has been to us. And I'm sure every single person listening can sit and really meditate on that also, on God's faithfulness, because he is a constant.
Yeah.
He has never once given up on his children who he loves so dearly. Yeah.
So we've been kind of vague with some of the challenges we've mentioned with this kiddo. Let's share some so other people can kind of relate to what we're going through. Let's share some things. Fighting with our other kids.
Like not just arguing, but physical.
I mean, so kids do that. We
Right.
understand that, but it's just it's constant. It feels just ridiculous.
Poor Lainey keeps getting beat up.
Lainey deserves
Scratched,
it sometimes.
bitten. That's the hard part. I've told Lainey, I'm like, sis, like you have to stop being bossy. Like she's a mama, right? And if I'm not literally 3 feet away, she's gonna boss other kids
She's
around.
bosses, even if you're 3 feet away, she bosses
Yeah, that's
kids
true.
around. And this kiddo doesn't respond to authority figures outside of Whitney, her teacher.
It's
It's
us.
a learned thing. She's learned to do well with her teachers.
Yeah.
At first they weren't. So that's a thing. Like, okay. And then just like lying and just the additional.
There's a lot of manipulation. Yeah.
And it all stems from, it's not her fault. She's a lovely little girl. It's
I
from
actually
her.
had a dream about an hour ago that she woke me up to get up for the day, and she had on not only one of Leah's pull-ups, but I think like 10 pairs of underwear on top of it. And I was like, what are you doing?
You've been watching too much Captain Underwear with our kids, I guess. Right?
I
Captain
don't know.
Underwear? Is that the guy's
Captain
name?
Underpants?
Underpants.
Right?
But so,
But that's actually something that could happen in real life.
100%.
And she would just say, I don't know.
I don't know. And I mean, I think the root of it with all these challenges, outburst of anger. The other day, she was riding a scooter on our porch out back. She was done with it. Instead of just setting it down and like normal, she picked it up and chucked it off the patio. And Whitney and I were staring at, we were all outside. And we said, she wasn't mad. It was just matter of fact. We were like, why did you just chuck your scooter? She goes, I quit. Like, just matter of fact. Like, so she has a lot of stuff. And
again, it's not a crutch. It's not an excuse. It is truly all a result of trauma and healing. And the thing is, that's tricky and beautiful at times. We have to put things in the absolute simplest form. We have to backstep with her and go back in some ways to essentially treating her as if she's an infant or a toddler.
almost like what she was when she left us.
Yes. Like the gap of development
Like emotional development. Like
that wasn't met over the years due to whatever reason. We have to go back and help her brain develop in those ways. And that's what is the word, Jason? Now I'm like stalling because I can't think of the word. It's a really big investment of time, of energy.
yeah, without the guarantee of
Yeah.
the result at the end.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
And we know who's in
That's
there.
the faithfulness,
we
right?
We know who is in that sweet little body.
And that's the faithfulness thing, right?
Yeah.
We don't know, like
Trusting
you said,
what you cannot
like
see.
you, like saying you want to know the end result. We don't know,
Right.
For sure.
That's the thing, trusting what you cannot see, right? But all of these little itty bitty challenging behaviors.
Well, they're not all itty bitty. Like
They're not itty bitty.
There's some of them are really hard, like screaming.
And they add up, right? Door slamming, writing on things we shouldn't write on, just to say, I don't know. there's a lot of, I don't even know.
Like, from anybody from a large family understands, when you have a lot of kids, it's hard anyway. When you start adding in the trauma and all this additional stuff, and it makes you want to say, hey, if we just remove this kid, all of a sudden our family dynamics become a lot easier and
that's the
simpler.
thing. That's that carrot, right? Unfortunately, I hate saying it like that, but that's what we've been struggling with. Almost like, guys, this is so vulnerable too, by the way. So just appreciate that fact, please. But that's what I feel like the enemy's been dangling this carrot of life could be so much easier, right? Like,
and that's like a big tool of the devil is he always gives you shortcuts, like half the same. He tries to convince us he can give us the same thing that Jesus has promised us, but it's a counterfeit. It's a fake. It's not the authentic version of it.
And another thing I was reading recently is, we as Christians have to be really cautious about making false idols, right? Which it can be, a cell phone. Your marriage can be an idol.
Image of your family.
The image of your family can be an idol. That's kind of where I'm going. The thought of what used to be could be an idol. As a foster family, I have definitely had moments where, and even our kids have, like, man, what do you think life would be like if it was just the four of us, like just our biological kids and us? If we aren't careful, we can create an idol out of what could have been, which will completely rob us of what we have and what God has blessed us with.
Yeah, you'll become bitter because comparison is a thief of joy, right?
Exactly.
You'll lose your joy. You'll be
So just kind of something to ruminate on for you guys as well. Like, be careful what you think about when you think what if or only if, because that can become an idol. And then you're completely robbed of your joy in the here and now. And that's kind of, the same thing with this situation, like what Jason said about if one child was removed, like, it would be so easy. Yeah, but
maybe.
Where would that sweet, bright smile go? Right? Like, ugh. So just a little offshoot there. Be careful what you're creating an idol out of.
We've kind of been talking to you about faithfulness. This has kind of been a rambling episode too. That's okay. I think you guys are probably used to that with us. A lot of times in this foster care journey, would you say we've wanted to quit, Whit? Would you say there's been times we wanted to quit?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you?
Of course.
Okay.
So I just say,
is this a trick question?
I just say that to joke with listeners. If you're a foster family and you feel like quitting, I want you to know that's a normal thing. You're not quitters. You're not weaker. You're not ill-equipped. You're normal. Welcome to the club.
And if you're in that season of thinking about quitting, before you do, please stop and pray on it. And I want you to truly think about all the times God has shown up to show his faithfulness on your journey. Not necessarily to steer you in one way or another, but pausing, having gratitude, and pausing to think about all the ways he has shown up sometimes helps guide your heart and your mind. Because, man, he is faithful and he always provides. And even within our challenging season, I can look back and there are so many times that God shows up. And I take that as little winks that God's like, you're still where I want you. Because I think if you are walking in his will, he does provide. And he sees you and he knows it's not easy. And guess what? He did not live an easy life and he never promised we would.
I want to share the bottom or part B of 1 Corinthians 15:58. I'll share the whole verse because this is good. So, my dear brothers and sisters, be strong and immovable. Immovable. Always work enthusiastically for the Lord.
Enthusiastically, okay.
Whoops. For you know that nothing you do for the Lord is ever useless.
Do you hear that?
In this grind of foster care, there are times when we absolutely have talked. Me and Whitney and I have looked at each other and been like, this sucks.
Guys, parenthood.
We're not parenting in general.
Nothing you do for the Lord is ever useless. I'm just going to take the mic for a second here. Nothing in parenthood.
I'll go refill my coffee.
Every diaper you change, every dish you wash, every sock you fold, nothing.
Can you fold a single sock?
Well, I was going to say every sock you lose, but that doesn't really make sense.
That resonates more.
Right?
The monster in the dryer that eats all the socks.
Yes.
Apparently.
But parents, listen to that. Nothing done for the Lord is ever useless. All of those mundane tasks that leave us feeling unseen, unappreciated. Foster parents, you hear me. All of those, the late nights, the rocking the crying child who hasn't seen their mommy again.
Sitting out in the cold when they have croup.
Yeah, like
hospital stays.
No one sees that. But one person does. Your daddy in heaven does. And nothing you do for him is useless.
Faithful.
You can go back now. You can have it again.
Okay. I don't know what to do. So at church, our pastor shared a story. I want to share it with all you guys. I think we'll wrap up with this story. Mm-hmm. Think it's a good place to wrap up? Share
Great
the
place.
Story? Yeah.
Unfortunately, do you remember his name?
No.
I don't remember the man. I tried to look it up. Apparently, there's a new movie out about it.
There's a movie out about
with
it.
Matthew McConaughey starring as him.
I think it was the Palisade fire in California, I believe. There was a group of kids trapped that were going to die in this fire. But there was this bus driver who said, nope.
The bus driver's name is Kevin McKay.
That's it, Kevin.
And the movie that's coming out or is out is called The Lost Bus.
And what happened with this lost bus was the fire. He said, no, not my kids. He picked these kids up in the bus, and our pastor said he drove around for 5 hours, wetting T-shirts, wetting towels so the kids could breathe. And he saved these kids from death. They would have died. This dude saved these kids with his bravery and his faithfulness to these kids. And this line, when asked why he did it, this line, Whitney and I, she didn't give me any insight to the sermon. I texted her during the sermon and said, this line brought me to tears, and I had tears in my eyes the rest of the service. The quote said, why did he save these kids? And his quote was, they were my kids. You don't quit on your kids.
Boom. That hit me real good.
You don't quit on your kids.
I walked out of the service and I said the pastor looked at me and he goes, well, I hope that, I can't believe he even said it, but he goes, I hope that message resonated with someone. And I was like, well,
hi, I'm someone.
Here I am. I'm someone. And I quoted that quote. I was like, dude, yeah.
For our fellow foster families, adoptive families, or any families going through any hard time, I just want to encourage you that having hard times is normal. I want to encourage you to remain faithfulness. Faithfulness is a long obedience in the same direction. It can be exhausting. It can be tiring. It can be all the negatives. And honestly, sometimes with faithfulness, the most spiritual thing you can do is just show up again tomorrow.
Yeah. Faithfulness does not mean that you have to fix everything. Sometimes it just means staying when it would be easier to walk away. It means trusting what feels small to you, that it's really significant to God. So before you scroll, rush, or react, take a moment to pause this week, right now, before you scroll on to another podcast or rush on to the next thing. I mean, you can like or share this, but I want you to take a moment and pause and ask the Spirit to fill what's empty and strengthen what's weak within you. Then I want you to show up again. I challenge you to stay faithful in the little things, because that's what dreaming small is all about, really. And until next week, keep dreaming small.
Thank you for listening to the Dream Small podcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please tap that follow button and leave us a review. It helps other people find my mom and dad's show. If you're on Spotify, please give my parents a follow and a 5-star rating. And wherever you listen, don't forget to share the show with a friend who needs a little encouragement today. You can also follow us on social media to stay in the loop. Instagram at Dream Small Podcast, Facebook Dream Small Podcast, Twitter or X at Dream Small Show, or email us anytime at dreamsmallpodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you, and remember, just dream small. See you next time.